It is funny how the world functions. It does not seem to have a pattern or a method to how it runs, but it sure amuses us once in a while. If you think that the universe is not looking out for you, think about what have you done for the universe? Do good, and it shall boomerang back to you one way or the other. Most importantly, do good because it brings a smile to another person's face. Your words can probably save a life or destroy it. This one is an interesting read about how one person can help make all the difference. This person does not consider distance or obstacles to help another person. He especially brings joy to the life of a woman who might have died if not for his words. Meet Nicole, your friendly neighborhood woman who loves to put a huge smile on her face. Her positive energy makes everyone around her want to be happy. Her smile was so infectious that it would change the mood of anyone upside down. She was doing well in life and always wanted to live by the beach. She loved the waves and the smell of the ocean. So she set out to buy a beautiful beachfront property for herself. She does not take any decision in her life without the help of her father. He is her biggest hero, and she gets all her confidence and happiness from this man. So naturally, she decided to make this particular decision, along with her father. They went around town looking for a good property. But unfortunately, they were not able to find anything that suits their needs. Also, buying beachfront property is not as easy as buying any other type of property. Lucky for her, there was just a place she could go to for more help. There is a show that runs exclusively for purchasing and selling beach properties. The show goes by the name of HGTV Beachfront Bargain Hunt. She and her father decided to appear on this show and announce her wishes to buy a property in Morehead City. She wanted to add a little spice to her search and decided to come on this show as a celebration. It was time to contact the agency and let them know at what time she would arrive. Nicole already had every specification mapped out in her mind. She has been dreaming of beachfront property from a young age, and this was her dream show. The moment Nicole met with the agency, she started blurting out all her requirements. Her father was looking at her in awe and loved the enthusiasm she carried for this activity. He knew how deep her emotions were regarding this, so he went ahead and hyped her. The show, HGTV Beachfront Bargain Hunt, sent her an email a few days later telling her that she is shortlisted for being on the show. This show is an elaborate show about the family, their background, the kind of property they look for, and their motive behind the purchase. They loved her energy, so they instantly decided that she would be on the show. As mentioned before, she was celebrating something special, and this purchase would make her feel whole again. She could not be happier about this decision, but there was something that was making her weird. She even went shopping to look good on the show, but there was something off. She ignored her feelings, thinking that she was getting cold feet, and went ahead with it. She spoke about her life and what kind of property she is looking for with a big smile on her face. She was feeling short of breath now and then, but it was not noticeable. Nonetheless, she kept her spirits high and completed the shooting for that particular episode. She loved the entire experience with her father and waited for it to come on TV. We are not sure if she made a firm decision on which property to buy, but she discovered something about herself which is much more valuable than this property. It was almost like God was looking out for her and helped her from falling into the pit. Was she in danger near the waters? Fast forward to 1 month ahead, this episode got aired on TV. Far away in the city of New York, there was a fan of HGTV Beachfront Bargain Hunt watching this episode closely. While he was watching this video, he noticed something very odd. He saw that Nicole had a small lump on the left side of her throat. Eric was a doctor by profession, so something triggered his curiosity when he saw this lump. He got up and walked closer to this TV. There was something important that this doctor had to communicate had this person. He tried tracing her name from this show. But unfortunately, he was not able to trace her name. He dug deep on social media with keywords. Many days had passed, but Eric was not able to find out the name of this woman. This information could not wait, and he felt obliged to let her know this truth about her. But what could it be? What did this doctor know about her that she didn't? After all his efforts failed, he decided to take the help of his friends. He made a short video describing the girl and posted it on his social media. He requested all his friends to share the video and find out where this woman is. His friends were kind enough to blow up this video for him and sent it to all the contacts they knew of. Some of them even spent a few hours trying to re-watch the episode. Finally, one of his friends was able to get a hold of the social media to account for Nicole. He was overjoyed about this and sent her a message immediately to meet with him. It is not always safe to meet whoever requests you to do so online. But there was something about this man that prompted Nicole to meet up. So she kindly replied to his messages and agreed to meet with him. Eric told her that speaking to her as soon as possible was necessary. He requested Nicole to join a video call as soon as possible. At first, Nicole was a bit skeptical about this meet. Eric was not ready to tell her what the agenda of the meeting was. But since he made it clear that he saw her on HGTV Beachfront Bargain Hunt, she assumed that he might be a seller of a property. He made sure to mention his profession to him so that she feels safer to talk with him. They set up an appointment for the following week. The day finally arrived, and Nicole's heart was beating faster than ever. She had no idea why she was feeling this way, but she knew something was wrong. When she joined the video call, Eric greeted her and requested if he could observe and conduct some virtual tests on her. It was a bit odd for someone to be requesting these things. But Nicole trusted this man and agreed to go ahead. Without wasting much time, they began the tests. When Eric returned with the test results, there was a huge frown on his face. A frown on the doctor's face can never be good. Before Eric broke the news to her, he asked her if someone can join the call to take the news. He did not want her to faint or pass out after listening to it. Nicole was now too tensed and asked the doctor to cut all suspense and tell her why she was here. Eric came closer to his screen and told her, "My dear, you have thyroid cancer." These words echoed in Nicole's head and she went numb for more than a minute. She sat there staring into open space, praying that this was all a dream. Was Eric hunting for Nicole to break this news? But how did he notice that she was suffering from thyroid cancer? There were no signs that showed she had any cancerous cells in her body. But Dr. Eric had a much sharper eye than expected. He is an ENT specialist, and anything to do with this region, he would pay more attention to. While he was relaxing and watching TV, he noticed that there was a lump in her throat. It would move every time she spoke. Eric called her up because, as an ENT specialist, he felt obliged to tell a woman that she was suffering from thyroid cancer. God has given him this knowledge for a reason, and he was not going to sit quietly, even after knowing that this woman might have a life-taking cancer. Putting this knowledge to good use made him feel like he contributed to save a person's life. As a doctor, he is busy saving lives all day long, but he took time off every day to find out Nicole's handle. Nicole was in shock, and she had no idea what to tell Dr. Eric. He supported her during this difficult time, spoke to her father because she was almost numb after the news. Her father was her rock, and his presence in this place was important. Nicole wanted to get this cross-checked with her family doctor before she jumped to any conclusions. Sadly, the doctor was right, and she was diagnosed with cancer by her family doctor. Nicole did not understand what the next step was. But thankfully, she had her family members by her side, along with Dr. Eric. Eric suggested she get surgery to remove this lump from her throat. Nicole stopped speaking to people altogether. This happy and chirpy woman was no more in her happy state. Even her father was not able to bring her back to a smile. If this operation was somewhere else, she would not have thought about it much, but it was her throat. There were a lot of risks to take into consideration. What if she lost her speech box during this surgery? Or worst yet, what if she does not recover from this cancer? Remember the special event we were talking about earlier? Nicole was purchasing a beachfront property because she had recently recovered from glioblastoma. There was a fairly large tumor in her brain, and she had undergone surgery to overcome this obstacle. It was natural that she felt scared to agree to this operation. How many tumors and cancers do she have to go through before steering clear from hospitals? If God gave her a unique way to discover this disease was in her, he would also give her enough strength to come out safe from this surgery. This doctor diagnosed this before it went out of proportion. If she had waited any longer, cancer would have spread far and wide. The entire family prayed for her well-being. They especially gathered around for her surgery and gave her all the moral support she needed. After all, it is not easy for a person to go through throat operations right after brain surgery. Nicole was emotional and touched that a doctor could notice this from TV and warn her about it. She knew that God worked in mysterious ways, but had no idea how powerful His mercy was. Nicole shared this message on her social media, and it did not take much time for this story to blow up. The media took notice of this and decided to do something special for them. They wanted Nicole to meet this doctor who saved her life. She was flown in and made to wait backstage. The moment Eric entered backstage, Nicole ran and hugged the person who saved her life. Dr. Eric was happy that his observation changed the life of a person. Nicole could not stop crying and was grateful that he was watching TV during her segment. Her family doctor was not able to diagnose this without a proper test. But a tiny lump on her neck was brought to his attention. We guess he has a huge TV to notice this. Good Morning America interviewed the doctor. And apparently, Dr. Eric is a fan of beachfront property himself. He enjoys watching the show, but since he is a professional, his eye immediately directed him to the swelling on her neck. The doctor said that he does not like bringing work to his home, but he could not help but notice it that day. Nicole was almost in tears when she entered the floor. Every sentence she spoke, her voice kept breaking, and she was about to break into tears. Although she was a two-time survivor of cancer, she makes sure that she is always thankful to God. Keeping optimism and taking the diagnosis positively is one of the most important routes to faster recovery. The first time, if not for the doctor, she could not have recovered fully from a brain tumor. And this time as well, God found a way to tell her that she is in trouble. I suppose as a happy person she tries and gives as much as possible to the world. As a result, she was rewarded with an early warning about her life-threatening cancer. Always make sure you are aware of your surroundings. In today's era, we are so into our phones that even if someone gets kidnapped in front of our eyes, we might not notice it. Be aware of your surroundings and help people when they need it. Everyone has their superpower on planet Earth. Eric's superpower was observation and determination. We hope you too save the life of a person someday. The feeling that it gives you can last a lifetime.